Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going good for you. Um, I'm just back again with another one of my little videos here on how to do certain little automotive jobs, mechanic jobs on your own vehicles. This is an '07 Hummer H3. It uses this unit style bearing. This is the bearing and the hub all pressed together in one solid piece or one piece. As you can see, this thing has got a lot of miles on it, a lot of wear and tear. However, couple of things I want to point out that makes this a little easier to can throw you off is that if you look at this doesn't look all that old or all that rusted or all that nasty right here. But if you look, of course, if you look at the backside, then you see all the grease and the grime and the rust and the dirt and the brake dust and everything else under the sun. So, what I want to stress to you is that be sure to look the part over very carefully and be sure to check everything very carefully. Now, a couple of other things you want to look out for is when you go back, you want to clean this inside here. You want to clean out all of that rust and the dirt and the grime and the filth. All of that. You want to get a wire brush in there and just try to clean all that out. Maybe some brake parts cleaner. Just clean all that stuff out. And maybe even put a little anti-seize in here so that when you have to do this job again later on, it's not quite so bad. Okay? But one other thing I want to talk about, if you listen, you hear that one? You hear that one? Let's tell you what, let's move the cord out, the little cord here out of the way. See? But then you hear that rattling in there? Yeah. This one is the one that's loose. I checked it yesterday. There's quite a bit of movement and play out of this one. It's not the ball joints, it's not the tie rod end or anything like that, or tie rod ends. It is the wheel bearing assembly. This is also known as a unit bearing. Okay, this is not, you cannot get the separate bearing and press this thing apart and put a new bearing in it and put it all back together. This is a piece that once it goes bad, that's it. You take it off, you replace it with a new one, like we got here. Other thing I want to stress to you is get good parts. As you can see, this one says Moog. I am not paid for or sponsored by Moog in any way, but I have put a lot of their parts on, and they always do come through, and they always do a really, really excellent job. This one here, I would imagine it's somebody some other manufacturers. I'm pretty certain that's not an original piece. That's not a factory OEM piece. That's something that was put on sometime later. Um, but if you also look, this one here has got like all kinds of cosmoline all over it and everything else. They really don't want this thing to come out looking like crap, and that's one of the other little details they go through to make sure that this thing comes out of the box ready to go and looking really, really fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little anti-seize on here, put some anti-seize in here and in these thread bolt holes, so that when the bolts come in from the back side here on this spindle, they just just go right in there, and there's no drama, no issues, no problems. They just thread right in, and there's no big deal. But you want to also check and make sure that both parts are identical. You know, as you can see, you get brand new studs with this, which is really nice. But you also get, if you look, everything is looking very, very much identical. But also, too, they provide this nice little cord for your anti-lock braking system, which I'm going to replace that next. So I want you to understand that when you're doing this job, it's not a hard job to do, but this is going to be pretty much the same kind of procedure for most any vehicle that uses this type of bearing, regardless of the manufacturer. They all pretty much go by the same kind of thing. Now, some of them may have more bolts that attach them to the spindle, but they all are pretty much very, very similar. Okay? All right. I thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, comments, ideas, suggestions, even some creative criticism, be sure to put it down there in the comment section below. All right. Thank you very much. And God bless, and everybody have a good one.